Jochens digitale Flaschenpost.
Thank you very much that you take the time. Is this an obligation about the job that you don't like that much?
An obligation of the job I don't like? Well, no, actually, I like pretty much all aspects of my job. I really do.
Even talking to the radio people?
Well, okay, that might be a little lower on the list, but otherwise it's all good.
Okay. Also, ich habe ihn gefragt, ob er alles an seinem Job mag. Er sagt, ja, sogar mit den Radioleuten sprechen gefällt ihm. So, you were born in America, right?
That's correct. I was born in Rhode Island, up in New England. I've lived in Seattle now for the last 30 years or so.
Okay. Also er ist in Rhode Island geboren und in Seattle hat er lange gelebt. So you've always been close to the sea, immer nah am Wasser gewesen.
Yes. I started going to sea when I was a young boy with my dad and ever since.
Okay, also schon als kleiner Junge immer mit seinem Vater auf der See gewesen. What do you have to do and to assess to become the captain of the largest cruise ship in the world? Was musste er tun, um an diesen Job zu kommen?
Wow, that's a long story, I suppose. But for me, over the years, working in the industry, ever since I was a young man, starting my career fishing, really, prior to my life at Royal Caribbean. I fished for 14 years up in the Bering Sea on large factory trawlers.
Are you still watching the films and the Netflix stories about the men who are going on the boats on the Bering Sea?
Yes, sure. I have a lot of friends up there still, captains on the trawlers. Cool. So I spent a number of years doing that. We fished all over the North Pacific and even in Africa. But 1999, I came to Royal Caribbean, started my career over again. And when I started in 1999, we had 10 ships. And now we have 25.
Cool. Is this at the Bering Sea, being a captain on a boat, like is the hardest job that a navigator can have?
Well, I don't know. It was difficult at the time. I mean, conditions are tough, and that's for sure. And the pressure for the fishing and the competition and so forth, it had its own challenges for sure. And a lot of that translates here, believe it or not. I found I enjoyed those challenges, and then coming here. Many similarities to the operation. You'd be surprised. You know, the complexity, the competition, the pressure of getting the job done. It's all there. Complicated logistics, everything.
Would you say that you're still nervous on doing this job here?
Not anymore. No, not so much.
Okay, but you were when you started.
Yeah, I admit, sure. Of course, it's a natural reaction. But over time, you know, you get used to what you're doing, and you find it actually relaxing and almost therapeutic, you know, if you will.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So how does the regular working day look like?
Every day is different. Every day is different. But here in Europe, we have a very busy schedule. We're arriving early into ports and leaving late in the afternoons and early evenings. Makes for long days. We take a little time out in the middle of the day so that we can stay rested, but every day is a little different.
So when the ship leaves the harbor and when it gets to another harbor, you're always here on the bridge?
Always here. Yes.
Okay. Are you still proud to be a captain of a ship like this?
Of course. How can you not be? Absolutely.
Your family is in the States?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And your wife, what does she say if the people ask, well, what is your husband doing?
I don't know. She probably makes something up. I'm not sure exactly.
That's very interesting. When we were talking about you, about the captain, it seemed as everybody treats you like a rock star.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do get a lot of attention, and that's all wonderful and everything. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm just like anybody else. You know, a professional doing my job as best that I can, and really, that's how I see it.
Is most of the navigating done by a computer these days?
Well, there's different aspects of the navigation that's handled by the computer, if you will. We utilize GPS position fixing for primary navigation, and that is all integrated into our navigation systems here. But at the end of the day, for the maneuver alongside the berth and in and out of port, it's done by hand. And we have the great tools for information and accurate information, that is for sure. But the maneuvering of the ship itself is still done by hand. There's no computer that does it for us. So in effect, we do it just like you would any vessel, any small vessel. Same thing, only on a larger scale. That said, it's very much teamwork because it is a complicated machine to handle, and it takes a team to do it. So the actual maneuvering is just one aspect of the handling of the ship, because there's a lot of activities that are engaged in this process.
So how many people or assistance is needed to navigate a boat like this?
Well, for an arrival or a departure from a tight port like the Spezia, we would use 7 as a minimum.
That's the minimum. Cool. So after you've been around Europe on this cruise ship, you will go to the Caribbean. Yes. That's where lots of the people on these boats go on vacation. Where do you go on vacation?
Home. I go home.
To Seattle?
Yes.
To rainy Seattle?
Yes, where I can mow the lawn and feed the cat and wash the dishes and be like a normal person, ride my motorcycle as much as I can. You know, I mean, that's about the best I can do.
What kind of motorcycle have you got?
Oh, Ducati, of course.
Okay. So Italian?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this is not easier than handle a cruise ship driving a Ducati?
No, but it's more fun, I have to admit.
That's very good. So how long are you away from home normally?
Well, we do 10 weeks on, 10 weeks off. That's the normal schedule. But for taking out a ship like this, we worked a different schedule. So I came in November, and I've been here ever since with a small break for Christmas. And a number of the team have followed the same schedule. It's very intense for the last 4.5, almost 5 months. We've been engaged in the delivery process and now bringing her into service. At the end of this voyage, I will go home on vacation, and I will come back middle of June.
And then to the Caribbean, or after you leave?
No, middle of June. Middle of June, we'll be here in Europe. We'll continue the European season all the way through until the end of October. And then in the end of October, we leave Europe and we sail across to the United States, where we will home port in our new terminal in Miami.
Okay. All the radio station with you, all the best. Thank you very much that pleasure. You took your time. Thanks for navigating us safely through the Mediterranean, and enjoy.
Thank you, and you enjoy as well.
Thank you, sir.